Hey, good evening. It's Saturday, February 3rd. And again, end of another week of Everyday Talk 24/7. Such an honor to be able to talk with you every day. Yesterday, I talked about finding friends who can save your life. Then it dawned on me, well, maybe we need to talk about how do you recognize a true friend, someone who really can be valuable to you. So, here you go. Here's 6 ways to recognize a true friend. There are other ways, to be sure. This is not an exhaustive list, but these are just 6 things that seem to be important to help us recognize true friendship. It's not an exhaustive list, but it's a way to get started. First way to recognize a true friend is one who loves God more than he or she loves you. And by the way, this list is going to work for anyone. Young children, teenagers, 20s, 30s, 50s, older. If you're considering marriage or romance or a particular relationship with someone, these 6 things are all exactly what you need to consider. Not all, but these are things that need to be there. So, first one is one who loves God more than they love you. That's the only way you're going to find stability in a friendship. Because if someone who's committed to you first and then God second, there's not going to be any stability there. Because they're going to be trying to please you, and they're not going to be able to help you because they're too focused on you rather than focusing God. The best way to love anybody is to love God first. And we see that in Matthew 22, 37 to 40, where the familiar passage, when Jesus is asked, what is the greatest commandment? He says, there's 2. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, your mind, your soul, your strength. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. But the focus is, the first thing is they've got to be committed to God more than anything else. Second thing, how to recognize a true friend. One who will tell you the truth about you. One who's going to be honest. Proverbs 27:6 says, the kisses of an enemy are profuse, but faithful are the wounds of a friend. That true friend is going to speak to you in love and tell you when you need direction, when you need help, when you need to be lovingly just given a good kick at the rear end to get going in the right direction. We need those things. I need those kinds of friends. You do. Someone who only has good things to say about you. Never anything negative, but just as profuse with their praise, is either someone who can't be trusted or someone who's actually, not wise enough to figure out that you need help. So you want someone who can give you those faithful wounds, not nasty wounds, but faithful wounds. Thirdly, and this is important, one way to recognize a true friend is someone who speaks well of other people in general. It's not that we don't ever have a reason to criticize, but their general mindset is speaking well of someone. And I'm going to illustrate it with a negative set of Proverbs. Proverbs 16, 27, 28 is this. A scoundrel plots evil, and on their lips is like a scorching fire. In other words, someone who's always out to find something wrong with other people. That's a danger signal. But then verse 28 is really key. A perverse person, a person who is deceptive. They stir up conflict, like a gossip who separates close friends. If someone has something negative to say about everyone else, guess what? When they're not with you, they're going to have something negative to say about you. So don't believe someone who just says, I'm just talking about others. If their general words are about trashing people and putting them down and finding a better way, that's somebody to avoid. They separate close friends and will be damaging to you. So that's number 3. The fourth way to recognize someone who's a true friend is someone who values wisdom rather than stuff. Someone who values wisdom rather than stuff. In other words, and Jesus says in Matthew 6, 19 and 21, he says, don't store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy, or thieves come in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves don't break in and steal. And then verse 21 is the key, what you need to know for friendship. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Someone who is consumed with stuff, whether this is a friend, a potential boyfriend or girlfriend, an employer you work for, if they're consumed with the stuff of this world and acquiring that, that's where their heart's going to be. And it's not going to be given to relationships. So that's number 4. Number 5, one who welcomes a rebuke. Proverbs 9:8 says this, don't rebuke mockers or they will hate you. However, rebuke the wise and they will love you. See, it's kind of a converse of 27:6 about faithful the wounds of a friend. Someone who is wise, who's going to be a good friend, wants input because they're wise enough to know that they need help. That we need someone to love us and correct us and come alongside with us and stand with us, who's not afraid to say the truth. And they love that. They love hearing that. So a wise person, if you have a kind word of rebuke for them, they will love you for it. The Proverbs give us this overriding theme. A wise person, man, woman, child, they love a rebuke. They're not trying to get beat up, but they know they need help. So that's number 5. And then number 6, a wise person is one who guards his or her heart. A wise person guards their heart, fiercely guards their heart. Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart above all else. It's the source of life. So they're careful to take care of their heart. How do you guard your heart? Well, verses 24 and 27 of Proverbs 4. Don't let your mouth speak dishonestly. Don't let your lips speak deviously. In other words, a person who tells the truth, like we've been talking about. That's one way to guard the heart. If a person speaks the truth all the time, they're guarding their heart. Let your eyes look forward. Fix your gaze straight ahead. In other words, if your eyes are always wandering towards the next thing, the next possession, the next person, eyeing someone, with the lustful eye, or being fixated on outward appearance, that's not guarding the heart, and they're not going to be a good friend. Verse 26, carefully consider the path of your feet. In other words, the trajectory of this person's life. Where are they headed? Are they headed in a good direction? About building people? Are they valuing all the things we just talked about? Are they valuing truth? Are they valuing scripture? Are they valuing God? Or they're about accumulating stuff and seeking praise for themselves? So consider carefully your path, the trajectory, and all your ways will be established. That's the person you want. It's going to be a valuable friend to you. And then lastly, verse 27, don't turn to the right or to the left. Keep your feet far away from evil. Who do they hang out with? Are they hanging out with honorable people? Or are they hanging out with people that are not so honorable? People that, they say we're good friends, but then they're hanging out with people that are treacherous or given to all the things that maybe we shouldn't be involved in. You're cautious about that. Or they spend money, hang out with people who are all into money and whatever. Plug in whatever situation you're there. Consider whether they're always looking here and there for something else rather than truth. So that's 6 ways. 6 good ways to recognize a friend. One who loves God more than you. One who will tell you the truth. One who speaks well of other people. One who values acquiring wisdom instead of stuff. One who welcomes a rebuke. And one who guards his heart. I put the references on the screen for these things. I hope these are helpful to you. Again, I'm sure there's many more things we could add here, but this is a great place to start. And a great place to end this week of Everyday Talk. And I look forward to, Lord willing, seeing you on Monday. Thanks so much for being here, and you have a great night. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. May God richly bless you as you seek to live for His glory.